Hello listeners, hopefully you are fine. Today we discuss about the nuclear weapon, what is a nuclear weapon, what is the definition of nuclear weapons and how they will use and how to make the destruction of it. So discuss about the nuclear weapons have only twice been used in a war. Both times by the United States against the Japan near to the end of the World War II on August 6, 1945, US Army Air Forces detonated a uranium gun type fission bomb nicknamed Little Boy over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. 3 days later, on August 9, the US Army Air Forces detonated the plutonium implosion type fission bomb nicknamed Fat Man over the Japanese city of the Nagasaki. This bombing caused injuries that resulted in the deaths of the approximately 2 lakh civilians and military personnel. The ethics of these bombings and their role in the Japanese surrender are the subjects of the debate. Since the atomic bombings of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki nuclear weapons have been detonated over the 2000 times of the testing and the demonstration, only a few nations who possess such weapons are suspected of seeking them. The only countries known to have denoted nuclear weapons and acknowledge possessing them or chronically by the date of this first as United States, the Soviet Union succeeded a nuclear power by Russia, then the United Kingdom, France, China, India, Pakistan, and North Korea and Israel is believed to possess the nuclear weapon through a policy of the deliberate ambiguity. It does not acknowledge having them Germany, Italy, Turkish, Belgium, and the Netherlands and nuclear weapons sharing states. First, we discuss about the types. So there are two basic types of the nuclear weapons: those that derive the majority of their energy from the nuclear fission reaction alone, and those that use fission reaction to the beginning nuclear fission reaction when the products and a large amount of the total energy output. Like fission weapons, all existing nuclear weapons derive some of the explosive energy from the nuclear fission reaction. Weapons whose explosive output is exclusive from the fission reactions are commonly referred to the atomic bombs or the atomic bombs. In fission weapons, a mass of the fission missiles enriched uranium or the plutonium is forced into the supercritically, allowing the exponential growth of the nuclear chain reactions, either by the shooting on the piece of the subcritical material into another, or by compressions of the subcritical spheres of the cylinders of the fossil material using chemical and fueled explosive lenses. The later approaches the implosion methods is more too sophisticated and more efficient, less than a major challenge in all nuclear weapons designs to ensure that significant fractions of the fuel is consumed before the weapons destroy itself. The amount of energy released by the fission bombs can range from the equivalent of the just under the ton of the upwards of 5 lakh tons. Fusion weapons, like other basic types of the nuclear weapons, produce the larger proportions of the energies in a nuclear fission reaction. Such fusion weapons are generally referred to as thermonuclear weapons, or more colloquially, or hydrogen bombs, abbreviated by the H bombs, as they rely on the fusion reaction between the isotopes of the hydrogen, deuterium, and the tritium. All such weapons derive the significant portions of their energy from the fission reaction use of the triggered fusion reaction, and the fusion reaction can themselves trigger additional fission reactions. Other types, like there are the other types of the nuclear weapons as well, as for example the boosted fission weapon is a fission bomb that increases its explosive yield through a small number of fusion reactions, but it's not a fusion bomb. In the boosted bomb, the neutrons produced by the fusion reactions successively to the increase and the efficiency of the fission bomb. There are two types of the boosted fission bomb: the internally boosted, in which the deuterium titanium mixture is injected into the bomb core; extremely boosted, in which concentrically the shells of the lithium, deuterate, and the depleted uranium are layered on the outside of the fission bomb core. Tactical nuclear weapons. The neutron bomb, purportedly conceived by the Sam Chuan, is the thermonuclear weapon that yields the relatively small explosions but a relatively large amount of the neutron radiation. Such as a weapon could, according to the tactician, be used by the cause massive biological casualties while leaving the inactive infrastructure most insect and creating minimal fallout. Like weapons delivery. The system used to deliver the nuclear weapons to the largest to the important factor affecting to the both nuclear weapon designs and the nuclear strategy. Nuclear warfare strategy is a set of the policies that deals with the preventing of the fighting nuclear wars, like policies of the trying to prevent an attack by the nuclear weapons from another country by the treating nuclear retaliation is known as the strategy of the nuclear deterrence. Like governance control and the law, because they are the weapons of the mass destruction. The proficiency and the possible use of the nuclear weapons are the important issues in the international relations and the diplomacy. In most countries, the use of the nuclear force can only be authorized by the head of the government or the head of the state. Despite control and the regulation governing nuclear weapons, there are the inherent dangers of the accident, mistakes, false alarms, blackmail, theft, and sabotage. This armament, beginning with the 1963 partial test ban treaty and continuing through the 1996 comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty, there have been many treaties to limit it or reduce nuclear weapons testing and the stockpiles. Like controversy, ethics, even before the first nuclear weapons had been developed, scientists involved the Manhattan projects were divided over the use of the weapon. The role of the two atomic bombings of the country in Japan's surrender and the US ethical justification for them has been the subject of the scholarly and the popular debates of the decades. The questions of the whether nations should have nuclear weapons or test them has been continually and nearly universally controversial. Nuclear testing and fallout. Over 500 atmosphere nuclear weapons tests were be conducted at various sites around the world from the 1945 to 1980. Radioactive fallout from the nuclear weapons testing was first drawn on public attention in 1954 when the Castle Bravo hydrogen bomb test at the Pacific Proving Grounds. Effects of the nuclear explosion. Some scientists estimate that the nuclear war with the 100 Hiroshima-sized nuclear explosion on cities could cost the lives of the tens millions of the people from the long-term climatic effects alone. Public opposition peace movement emerged in Japan and 1954. They covered from the unified the Japan Council against atomic and hydrogen bombs. Japanese opposition to the nuclear weapons tested in the Pacific Ocean was widespread, and the estimated 35 million signatures were collected and the petition calling for the bans on the nuclear weapons. Non-weapons uses like peaceful nuclear explosions are the nuclear explosion conducted for the non-military purposes such as activities related to economic development including the creation of the canals. History of development. Like in the first decades of the 20th century, physics was the revolution with the developments in the understanding of the nature atomics in 1898. Peirce and Marie Curie discovered that the pitchblende and the ore of the uranium contain a substance which they named radium. So organized research first began in the Britain and Canada as a part of the Tubelos project, the world's first nuclear weapons project. The Mute Committee was set up following the work of the Frisch and the Rudolf Peirce, who calculated uranium 235's critical mass, found it to be much smaller than previously thought, which meant that the deliverance bomb should be possible. In the February 1940, the Frisch-Peirce memorandum, they said that the energy liberated the explosion of such as the superbomb will for the instant produce a temperature comparable to that of the interior of the sun. The blast from such as the explosion would be destroy life in the wide area. The size of this area is difficult to estimate, but it will be probably cover the center of the big city. Hopefully you like my videos. If you like my videos, listeners, you can subscribe me. I will be provide you more good videos for you for best interesting values. If you make the share the comments on the comment section, you can click the bell icon. I will be further assist you. Hopefully you will be have a good nice day. Have a nice day and God bless you. Bye bye.